Right, yesterday's class we have seen browser commands and navigation commands. Right, we have to see the web element commands. Before this web element command, we will learn few of the locator strategies before going to web element commands. Right, we will start with the locator strategies. What is the locator strategy? What is the importance of right locator strategy? Right, it is a very important topic. Right, if you don't know locator strategy, Selenium you don't. Simple thing. Right, this is a very important topic. Right, if you know the how to identify locators, remaining everything is very easy. Right, Selenium is nothing, right, nothing. Only depends on locator strategies. Right, if you want to identify any element on the web page, any web page, right, if you take any web page, if I want to, right, identify, that means manually whatever we will do, same thing we will do in the right, automation also. Right, if you know the manual, automation also same thing. Right, suppose, right, this I want to log into this application. What I have to do? I have to enter the username, I have to enter the password, I have to click on it. Right, but manually we know. Right, manually we know we will do it very easily. But in automation, how the Selenium script will know to enter, right, username, password, click on it. Right, we have to tell them, we have to tell, right, we have to write a some script and right, tell enter here username password here, click on it. Right, how to tell those things by using the locator strategies. We have to identify these elements. First we need to identify these elements and we have to write down in our script and tell to the script enter the text and click on the login. Right, to identify these elements in the Selenium, we have 8 types of locator strategies. We have 8 types of locator strategies. Right, one is the ID, name, link test, partial link test, class name, tag name, CSS, and then expert. Right, these 8 types of locator strategies. We can identify by using right any one of the locator strategy to identify the elements. Right, first 6 are very easy. Right, remaining CSS and the XPath a little bit right, not difficult. It will take a lot of scenarios will be there. Right, it will take a little time to learn. First, we will see these 6. Right, right. Then first one is the ID. By using the ID, we can identify locator. How to identify? Right, every element we cannot identify. Right, every element we cannot identify. Only suppose, right, in the DOM structure, right, yesterday we have seen how it will be like a XML tags, right, HTML, right, a start tag, end tag. Each one will have some start and end tags, right, HTML. And then inside it, we will have a, right, a header, right, some header will be there, right, a body will be there. Right, body will be there. Inside it, what we will do? We will take some elements. Suppose, right, now I want to enter the username and password. Suppose input, this is the tag name, input, then each tag, some tags will have attributes. Right, here it will have a attributes. Right, something type equal to what is the type? Right, this is called attribute. Type equal to text. This is the attribute key. This is the attribute value. Right, this is the attribute key. This is the attribute value. These are all implemented by developers. Right. Suppose it has a some ID. Right, username. Right, username. Right, then close. Suppose if it don't have any tag, it will close slash greater than sign. We can close like this. If it don't have any end tag. Suppose one more is password. Right, input type equal to right text. Suppose it don't have ID. It has a attribute name. Right, it has a attribute name. Suppose password. Suppose this has a button, right? Button, right? It don't have any attribute. Suppose, right? In between it has a text login slash button. Right. Our first locator strategy is ID. Right. We can identify the elements, right? The elements which has a ID. Then only ID will work. Otherwise, will not work. I cannot identify this element as by using locator strategy ID. Right. I cannot identify this element. The element which has ID attribute. Right. This input tag has ID. So I can identify. But this element don't have ID, so I cannot identify by using locator strategy. I have to choose another locator strategy. Right? We have 8 types of locator strategy. We can which one will work? We have to see. Right? For first one, ID will work. Right? For second one, name is there. One more. Right? It don't have any ID attribute. So we will go for next one. Right? Is it have ID? Name? Yeah, it has a name. So we can identify by using the name. Name locator strategy. Right? Uh, then these two we will see later. Right. Sometimes class name. Right. Sometimes right. Some elements will have. Suppose button has an attribute class. Right. Button has right login button something class. Right. If it has a class, we can identify. Right. If it has a class attribute, then we can identify the button by using class name locator strategy. Tag name means what? Tag name means this one. Button input. But a tag name is mostly it will identify more than one element because right we will not get uniquely. Suppose if you want to identify input tags, there are a lot of input tags will be there. Right? If you use the tag name, suppose tag name input, there will be a lot of elements. Right? Whenever we are using locator strategy must return single element. Right? Suppose if you are using ID username, if it is returning more than one, right? More than one. What will happen? It don't know where to enter the text sometimes. Right. Sometimes I am expecting to enter first one. Maybe it will enter in the second one. Right. Now what will happen? Right. Incorrect. Right. So our locator strategy at any point of time should identify only one element to make sure that. Right. Now we will start. Right. This is the just introduction. Right. Now I want to identify this element. Which locator strategy will work for this user? First thing what we have to do, we have to inspect it. We have to open the developer console. Right, we have to open the developer. How to open? You can right click, inspect it. You can right click anywhere and inspect it. Okay, then go to elements, right? Elements. Right, now I want to identify first this, where is that? Right, in the DOM, in the structure, HTML document, we need to identify where is the tag name first of all. Right, how to identify tag for this username? You have to click on this arrow symbol, right? Rectangle. And then you can go to, I want here, click on it. Or right click, inspect it. Right? Either way. Now we can cross check it. Right. This is the input tag for this user. If you mouse over, it will highlight above. Right. If you mouse over, it will highlight the above also. Right. Just mouse over and see whether it is the correct element or not. Right now we have to see. Right. It don't have see ID. Right. It don't have a ID. Right. So we cannot identify by using the ID. Right. If we don't have ID, we cannot identify. Right. I will take one more application. Right. I will take one more application. GitHub.com. Right. GitHub.com. Let me log out, sign. Okay, click on sign in. Right now I want to enter the username password here. Okay. Right, you can right click how to inspect. First we can directly right click and inspect it. It will open the developer console. Right, then mouse over and see. See, there are multiple input tags. Which input tag is correct one? You have to mouse over. Right, then on top it will highlight. Okay, this is the, it has a ID. Right, see, it has a attribute ID. Right, attribute ID login field. Right, just copy that login field. Right, we have to copy the ID value, attribute value. Right, we have to take the attribute value. Double click, it will copy. You can copy it. Control C. Right, I have to verify whether it is coming uniquely or not. Right, coming uniquely or not. Right, Control F. Control F. Control F. It will open the some text box in the down. Right, some text box in the down. How to identify whether it is a unique one? Right, then hash to identify the ID, hash, copy the value, right? Copy the value, whatever you have copied. Hash that ID value. Right now in the right side, if you observe here, right here, see, one of one. That means only one element identified with this locator. Right, with this locator, it is identified only one element. So we can every time we have to make sure our locator is returning only one. Right, not more than. Suppose if I use right, right, we will see later. Just I am explaining this. This is one type of locator. Type equal text. We will learn later. Let's see. It is how many identified? Here, see one of four. That means four elements are identified. Four elements are identified. Right. Then, right, our script there is more chances of failing. Right. We should not do right. Take locator like this. Right. Our locator always should return only one. Right. ID means what? The element which has the ID attribute. The element which has ID attribute, then only we can identify. That we can copy the value and control F in the elements set. Right. Click here in the elements. Control F. It will open the text box to identify the ID hash. Then paste the value. Right. Paste the value. Right. Here, if you want to identify this username, right, we can type in the browser hash user. Right, then we can see whether it is only with this ID, in the entire DOM, only one element is available or not. We are verifying here what we are doing. We are verifying with this locator, it is returning only one locator or not. Right, one locator or not. Right, like this. If the element which has ID, then only we can use the ID locator. Otherwise, we cannot use. We have to choose another one. Right, simple. Right now coming to right our script. Right, coming to our script. Right, quickly will come here. Right, yesterday. Right, let me copy this. Okay, in the before method creating the driver object. After method we are closing. That is common. Just here, just name the create the one test case. Just change it to web element comments. That's it. Right now we have to open. We will open this github.com. Okay, github.com/login. Open the website. Now I have to first identify the element. How to identify driver dot find element. There is a method called. There are two methods. We will see later. Find element. There is a method called find element. It has a by class. It has a, we have to pass the by. There is a class called by dot. It has all the locators, whatever we have discussed. ID, right, by ID, name, class name, right, tag name, partial link test, right. We will see all one by one. First one is the ID, right, by dot ID, right. Then we have to provide the ID of it, right, inside double quotes, right. We have to provide the ID of that, right, ID. What is the ID? It has login field. Copy this, right, login field. Right, just we have to import it. You can mouse over and then import. Right, org open queue selling. Right, by is a class. We are directly calling on the class. The ID is a method. Right, it is the concept of Java only. Right, static methods we can call directly by using class name. Right, we don't require any objects. These are all static methods. Right, we can explain in the right. By is a class, it has a static methods, right? By dot ID, by dot class name, CSS selector, link test, partial link test, tag name, XPath. All the locators are each method. It has each locator, it has one method, right? These are all static methods. So directly we are able to call. What it will return find element? It will return the element. It will return the element, right? Then we can store it, right? We can store it element. What is the element name? At a login text box, right? It is always advised to have a naming conventions. That means login text, username text box, right? Whether it is a, we can keep it as a instead of login, right? Username, okay? Username text box, so that it is very easy to understand what is this locator for, right? Then what I have to do after identifying the element by using driver.find element and then pass which locator we want, pass it, and then it will return the element. Then after identifying the element, what I have to do, I have to enter the text, right? I have to enter the text. Here, web element comments will come into picture. What is the, to enter the text, what is the method we have to use? sendKeys, right? Element dot, right? Web element, right? Username text box dot sendKeys, right? What is the, I want to enter something abc dot gmail.com, something, right? abc@gmail.com. All right, I have. Suppose next one we will say next locator name. Right. Any confusion? Anyone has any confusion? ID very straightforward. Right. The locator which has ID directly we can identify it. Right. Next one password we will see the name. Okay. Right. It has ID and also name. Both attributes it has. Right. It has both attributes. Right. If it has in real time, ID is the first preference. Right. ID is the first preference. Right. If it has ID, directly go to the ID. That's it. Right. If it has both, go to ID only. If it don't have ID, only name. Right. In this case, we don't have ID. Right. Name we have. Right. We can go for name. Right. Here we will see name now. Right. To identify name in the right here in the elements tab. If I want to in the developer console verify it. ID we have verified hash and then given the value of the ID. But for name, we don't have any shortcut to identify. Right, I don't have any shortcut. Only CSS we have to use. I will tell you later. Now, how to identify? Just copy entire this name equal to password. Right, copy this and paste in the square brackets. Square brackets, paste it. Right. If I want to identify name, we have to identify like this. Right, name. Then we can see one of one. That means with this name. How many elements are identified? With the name equal to password, only one element. Right, only one element is identified. Right, then we can write name. The tag which has a name attribute, then only we can identify. Right, the tag which has name attribute, then only we can identify. Suppose if I want to identify password here, right? In the code, we don't need to give hash, right? See, we did not give in the code. Some people will confuse about it, right? This is only in the browser. To identify ID, we will give hash, right? But in the code, we did not give. See, directly we have given value, right? Don't copy hash, right? Don't copy it. Next one, right? Driver dot find element, find dot name, right? We want name tag. What is the name of it? Passport, right? Passport. Copy this, double click, right? Directly, right? If we want dot send this, we can directly use. Either we can return, I can store it in the element and we can send it, or directly driver dot find element dot send this. We can also do that. That's something ABC. Next one, what I have to do, I have to click on the sign in button. Right, I have to click on the sign in button. Then we will see next locator class. Right, class. We'll see which one will work. Okay. It has a name. We can use a name, but we will see class by using class. Right, it has a class attribute. Right. If you want to identify any element by using class, it should have a class attribute. Then only you can identify. Otherwise, you cannot. Right. Take the class. Right. It has a multiple classes. Suppose I will copy this entire thing. Right. It is separated by spaces. Right. That means this is one class. This is one class. This is one class. This is one. This is entire one class. Right. They have used developers used multiple classes for this element. Right. Don't copy. Sometimes what will happen? People copy entire class. This is not one class. These are all multiple classes. One, two, three, four. It is a combination of four classes. Right, we have to choose class. We will very rarely we will use because it will identify multiple elements. So we must be very careful while using the class. Suppose I will take button primary class. Right, button primary. We will see whether it is able to identify uniquely or not. How to identify? Control F. Right, already opened it. You can delete it. For class, we will use the dot. Right, dot. Paste the ID. Right, it is identified one of one. Say one of one. That means only one. Right, only one element is identified. Right, we can use the button primary, or we can use sign in button, or we can use JS sign in button. Right, anything, any class we can use. This is not one class. This is multiple classes. Right. So we must be very careful. Right. We have to use any one class. Right. Then I will use here. Next one is what? Driver dot find element by dot class. Right. Class. Right. Class name. We have to copy the class name. What is button preview? We no need to copy dot. Don't copy dot. Right. Only value of it. Only value. That's it. Class value. Then dot. We want to do click on it. Right. We have to click on it. Right. We want to click on it. Right. Now, what are the web element commands we have used? Send keys to enter the text. Send keys to enter the text. Click method to click on the element. Right, to click on the element. And then we have a is displayed, is selected, is enabled. Right, what is mean by is displayed? If the element is displayed or not. Suppose here we have a right uh, suppose is displayed, then only I want to enter the text. Suppose after identifying the element, right, we can also do the element dot is displayed. Suppose if it is displayed, right, if it is displayed means what? See, if we mouse over, it will show. If the element is displayed or not, the method avoids the problem having to pass any element style attribute. Suppose if we want to get element attributes, right? Element attributes, right? If it is not displayed, we cannot get those attributes. Right. Once it is displayed, then only we can able to retrieve the attribute. We will learn later the attributes. Right. Suppose if it is displayed, right? If is displayed, right? Then only click on it. Okay. Suppose we no need to write it. Just I am explaining. Suppose sometimes, right? If it is displayed, then only click enter the text on it. If it is not displayed, ignore it. Right? Is displayed. Then one more is selected. This is for radio button, right? Or check boxes. We will see in that case. Is selected means I want to select the radio button or check boxes. We will see in the right when the topic is came. We will see is selected. Is selected means it will verify whether the element is selected or not. Right? Whether already radio button is selected or checkbox is selected or not. It will tell. If it is selected, it will return true. Is displayed will return true. Is selected will return true. Is enabled will return true. Right. If it is displayed element, it will return true. Is selected. Is the radio button or checkbox is selected already. It will return true. Otherwise false. Is enabled. Sometimes what will happen? The element will display. Right. Element will display, but we cannot do any operation. We cannot enter the text. We cannot click it because that is disabled. Right. To verify that whether element is enabled or not. Enabled means to enter a text to click whether element is enabled or not. Right. Suppose I will use here. Suppose right one more condition also we can add and how to add and the condition username text box dot is enabled is displayed is enabled then only enter the text. Right. Is selected we will see is selected we will see in the checkbox or radio button concept. Suppose clear. One more is clear. What is the clear? Before entering, suppose before entering what we have to do. Sometimes what will happen, some applications auto-populate. Right. After launching the website, auto-populate it. Right. If we try to enter text, after this it will enter. After this it will enter the text. Now what will happen? Right. Our username will become wrong. So I have to clear the first. I have to clear it first, then enter the text. So the for that, right, username text box dot clear, call the clear. So that if anything is there already, it will clear it and it will enter freshly. That it will clear and it will enter the freshly. That is just okay. Right. What we have seen, web element command send keys to enter the text, click on any button is displayed, whether element is displayed or not, is selected, whether element is selected or not. If it is selected, it will return true, otherwise false. Displayed also same thing. If it is displayed, it will return true, otherwise false. Is enabled. Right, is enabled. Right, is enabled means what? To enter the text. Right, sometimes elements will be disabled state. In that case, it will return false. If it is enabled to enter text or to do some action on the element. If it is enabled, it will return true. If it is disabled, it will return false. Clear means it will clear the text of the text. Right, clear we have to use only for the text boxes, not for the button. Right, we cannot clear anything on the button. Right, only for the in wherever we will enter such type of elements only we will clear it. Right, and now one more is get a text of it. Right, suppose right sometimes I want to get the text of some element. Right, I will see that. I will see that. I will tell you. Then tag name. Tag name means what? Suppose what is the tag name of it? Right. After entering the text, suppose. Right. Just for any element we can use it. System.out.println username text box dot get a tag name. Right. Get a tag name. Right, it will print what is the tag name of tag name is what input. Either input, it might be input, it might be a label, it might be a div tag. Right, these are all the tag names. Right, h2 is the tag name, div is the tag name, form is the tag name. Right, these are all tag names. Right, now I want to find what is the username tag name. Right, it will be a input. Right, it will print the input. Now get attribute. Now get attribute. One more is the get attribute. Get attribute means what? Suppose this, right, we have identified this element. It has multiple attributes, right? Type is one attribute, name is one attribute, ID is one attribute, class is one attribute, right? Auto capitalize one attribute, auto correct. These are all attributes of the input tag, right? This login field, username text box attributes. These are all attributes. I want to print this attribute autocomplete. Right? What is the autocomplete? Autocomplete means what it will display by default. Right? Now, autocomplete. I want to print this attribute value. What is the system.out.println username text box dot get attribute. Hmm, What happened? Right? Get attribute. Right, now they have right deprecated. Right, Selenium 3 we have this one. Now we have to use the get DOM property. Deprecated means in the next version they will remove it. Right, no, we have to use the get DOM attribute. Right, in Selenium 4 get DOM attribute. Right, inside a double quotes you can give. I want to print the what is the attribute value of the autocomplete. Right, autocomplete. Right. We have identified element first, then we are getting the DOM attribute of autocomplete. Right, it will retrieve the value of it. We can give any attribute, whichever you want, we can. Right, that is the attribute. Now, if we want to print the size of it, size, the location, right, get the size and location. What is the size and location? We'll see. Username, right, we can do it on any element. I am taking on user text box. Get size of it. Right, what it will return? It will return the dimension object. What is the return type? If you mouse over, it will return the dimension object. Interviews they will ask sometime, what is the return type of get size? It is a dimension. Right, we have to import it. What is the mouse over? See, there are two imports are we coming. We have to always choose the Selenium one or org OpenQ Selenium. By mistakenly, if you choose java.awt, right, it will not work. We have to choose correct package. Right, then system dot just out dot println dim dot get the height. Right, what is the height of the element? Right, what is the height of the element and width of the element? We can get by using the get size. What we can get height and width. Right, get size method will return dimension object. By using dimension object, we can get the element width and height. Right, element width and height. Suppose if I want to get x-axis, y-axis. Right, x-axis, y-axis. What is x-axis, y-axis? Right, suppose if you want right, x-axis means right, horizontal and vertical lines. Right, you have aware of it maybe. Right, suppose this is the entire page. Maybe suppose that I want to find right. This is the y-axis, right? This is the x-axis. Horizontal one is the x-axis, right? Vertical one is the y-axis, right? Suppose I want to find out username, x-axis, y-axis coordinates, right? I want to find out right coordinates of the coordinates, right? Coordinates of it, right? Something simple, right? I want to find out x coordinate, y coordinate, something it will written in the Right, x coordinate, y coordinate. Suppose password, I want x coordinate, y coordinate. Right, where it is in the web page, where it is placed, where the place it is, right, where it is placed exactly. Right, sometimes we want to find. Right, for that we can use the username text box dot get location. Right, location object what it will return point object. Right, point object. Then point equal to again import it. See, it is also in two packages. We have to choose Selenium package. Right, system dot out dot println p dot get x axis. Right, get x. Right, get x axis and then get y axis. If we want to find the location of it, then we will go for get location. Get location will return the point object. Right, sometimes interview they will ask what is the return type of right, or they will ask what is the how to find x-axis, y-axis coordinates. Right, by using that get location, it will return the point object by using get x and get y. And then there is a one more method getText. This is the recently introduced in Selenium 3 last version. Selenium 3, there are multiple versions of Selenium 3. In the last versions, they have implemented this getText. What is getText? What it will do? Right. Get right. Is the method get right. Get a rectangle. It will return what? It will return rectangle. Okay, rectangle or right import. Right. Rectangle what it will do? It will provide all the size, get size, height. It we can get the height. Right. We can get the height. We can get the width, and then get the x-axis, and then get the y-axis. That all four we can get by using get rectangle object. That we no need to use the dimension and the point objects. Right? They have introduced a new one, get rect. It will return the rectangle object. By using rectangle object, we can get the height, width, x-axis, y-axis. All four things we can get it. Right? That is the rectangle. And then get a CSS value. What is the CSS value? Right? Suppose right here, if you see the element, there will be some border will apply. That how it is displaying like this. See, if you put the cursor in it, it is changing border as a blue color. Right, border as a blue color. Right, that means developer will apply some style on it. Right, to apply blue color or round shapes. Edges are coming as a round. Right, there are some CSS properties. Those are all called CSS properties for this element. How to find out those CSS values? Right here in the you can first we have to do inspect the element, then come to styles. Right here, styles means you are able to see right here, style. Right here. Click on the styles. Right, click on the styles. Right, this is the right. What is the input block? How to display? Right, this is the display as a block, and which these are all CSS. So we no need to worry about it. But just if we want to get what is the right font size, I want to get the font size, or I want to get the color. I want to get the what is the color applied for it. Or background color. I want to get the background color of it. Right. These are all attributes. Again, CSS attributes. Right. Suppose I want a background color. Right. You can copy that. Right. You can come here. Right. Just inside the system dot out println username text box dot get CSS value. Right. Just take it and copy the background color. CSS value. Right. You can first we have to inspect. Suppose I want a button. That what are the properties applied on the button. First we need to inspect it, then go to styles, then we can see these are all the, let's see these class names. See by using these class names, they will apply the some CSS properties. See button primary, they have used see dot button primary. Apply for this button primary color is this one, background color is this one, border color, box shadow. Right, some that by using these class names, they will apply CSS values on the elements. Right. If you want to get those CSS value, we have a method called right element dot get CSS value pass which attribute, which style attribute you want, pass that attribute. Right. It will print. Right. Just quickly let me execute it. Right. You can run directly. Click on the run. It will open. Right. So far we have seen only ID locator, name locator. Right, and then web element comments. Okay, so open browser. Okay, then enter the username, password, click the sign in. And then see here we have print first one is the tag name. What is the tag name of it? Input. Then we have print what is the attribute of autocomplete user. Then get the size, height and width. We have printed height is the 32, width is the 254. Again location, get the x-axis, y-axis. Right, these two are x-axis, y-axis. Then again same thing. Right, by using rectangle method, we printed again height with the x, y-axis. Same. Then what is the background color? It will display in a RGBA format. That not directly, it will not print the red color, white color. It will print in a RGB. Right, we can search in the Google what is the color of it, we will get it. Right, RGBA in this format, it will display. But now what is the right? What is the pending? We have seen sendKeys to enter the text. Click on the any element is displayed. Whether element is displayed or not, whether element is selected, we will see later. Is enabled. Whether element is enabled or not. Clear to clear the already existing text. One more is we have to see get text. Okay, we'll see that. Get a tag name. It will return the tag name of the element. Get attribute. Get a size. We have seen location rectangle CSS. Right, we have to see this get text. Okay. Suppose if we take this, okay, this one, H1. But how many H1s are there here? H1. Okay, I have multiple. Okay, tag name. With that tag name, we have only one. Remaining all are some inside. Okay, with the tag name, we will have only one H tag. H1 tag. Okay, only one H1 tag. Right, inside that there is a text. Right, inside that there is a text. I want to get this text. Right. Now here we will cover one more locator tag name. Right now how to identify this by using the tag name. Right, driver dot find element by dot tag name. What is the tag name? H1. Right, we must be very careful while using tag name. Mostly it will return more than one. Right, more than one. We must be very careful. Right, H1. Now store it in it. What it will return? Find element. Find element will always return web element. Right. Find element will return always web element. Right. Now I want to print the text of it. Right. System dot out dot println element dot get text of it. Get the text of it. We will see what is the text of it. Right, let me execute quickly again. Right, if you want to get the text of any element, right, in between the tags, right, we will use the getText method. Let's see, it is printed text of it, right? GetText of it. Right, we can use in those cases. If you want to get a text of it, right, we can go for text of it. But a button don't have a text. If we say text means in between the tags, right? In between the text, start tag, end tag, right? Like this, right? Suppose button has a text like this, sign in, then we can get it, right? This is the text of a button in between the start tag, end tag. But this button sign in is different. There is a attribute. Right. If you want to get the value of the button, we have to use the get attribute. Right. Get attribute of value. Then we will get the sign. Right. You can try this. Right. First we have identify the element. Then use the get attribute value. Right. Then we will get the sign. Right. These are the different web element commands. Right. Then okay, we will see remaining later by ID name tag. Now we have seen only ID, name, class name, tag name. Right, these are all very simple. First six are we have seen ID, name, class name, tag name, link text, partial link text. We'll see tomorrow's class. And then very important concept CSS and export. Right, very important concept. And there are multiple combinations will be there. We will see in-depth concepts of all. Right, don't miss the classes tomorrow class. We'll explain okay, CSS and export look at us tomorrow's class. Okay, anyone has any questions?